On today's season preview, part 7.
After a thrilling race last season, we predict this year's MVP winner.
We select both our dream dunk contest participants and pick must-watch league pass teams.
And court is in session as Judge Trey picks the sexiest new floor design.
The starter's 72 burning question starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to part 7 of the Starters NBA season preview. Whether you're listening to the podcast or catching us on NBA TV/YouTube, we're happy to have you. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
Thank you so much for joining us.
To my right, Starters blog editor, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey-yo! And finally, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max. You still taking it to the max?
Always.
All right, Lee Ellis.
Friends.
All right, we are 2/3 of the way through our 72 burning questions about the upcoming 2015-16 NBA season. The corkboard is getting quite
Not
full.
much room left.
We're coming to a close.
Yeah, we are running out of room there, but we have questions still to tackle right here on the table. We ask you to play along at home, jump on Twitter, hashtag the starters with your answers. This is the one I know a lot of people have been waiting for. Let's just get right into it. Question 49, who will win MVP?
I think Steph Curry is going to repeat as MVP. It was such a tough race last year. So many names. I think it's going to be the same thing this year.
I agree with that.
Especially with Kevin Durant coming back healthy. I think it's going to have to go to the best player on the best team, and I don't see why the Warriors aren't going to have the best record again. Steph Curry is also not done getting better. He's got more to show you, as he just showed you there in the preseason. He falls down, picks it back up. He's not
Crazy.
He's not peak Steph quite yet. He's not done. This is all preseason we're seeing here. Lefty Steph. The guy is not done. He's going to get better. He's going to play more minutes as well. Last year, he didn't play in 24th quarters. Why wouldn't he play more minutes? Meaning his numbers are just going to go up.
Sure.
Best player on the best team. I think you have to go with Steph.
Trey, do you agree with that?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Steph Curry does it again, but I'm rolling with Kevin Durant, who is almost kind of a defending MVP as well. He only played 27 games last year, and when he was on the court, he was maybe the best player in the NBA. He finished 4th in PER, 3rd in scoring, and shot the best percentage from the field of his career. And this is Kevin Durant we're talking about, so you know that's a pretty crazy stat. I think he's going to have very little rust. I think he's going to have incredibly fresh legs, and I think he's got a chip on his shoulder this year to prove everybody I'm still the best player in the league. Plus, he doesn't want people worrying about all the off-court stuff, so he's going to just go out there, dominate, and be laser-focused on the season this year. I'm expecting big things from Kevin Durant.
You don't think his chances of maybe, in a way, sort of defending it again, like you said, he didn't really play last year for the MVP there, the way Westbrook played and how he sort of got into the MVP conversation himself, that could sort of diminish Durant a little bit? Because that tends to happen sometimes with voters. I'm not saying that's right.
Yeah, maybe they could split votes, but I still think that we're going to see Kevin Durant out there averaging 27 points a game, shooting 50%, and that's really hard to argue with when it comes to MVP voting.
I think one thing that he didn't have when he won MVP was a center who could score, and he does have that in this year in Enes Kanter. Maybe Enes Kanter takes away a few opportunities. Maybe Durant wants him to have a few opportunities just so Durant has legs in the fourth quarters and in the playoffs where they haven't succeeded.
So you're saying you can count on him for buzzer beaters in the fourth quarters, all these game winners? MVP.
Okay, Lee,
Enes Kanter for MVP.
You going with Curry? You going with Durant?
No, I might be a year or two ahead of schedule, but I'm going with Anthony Davis from the New Orleans Pelicans. A couple of years ago, or a few years ago now, Stan Van Gundy said about Dwight Howard that he didn't think anyone in the league affected possessions at both ends of the floor more than Dwight Howard. And I think we're going to see something similar from Anthony Davis this season. We know his offensive game is coming around nicely. Defensively, he's a fantastic defender. The numbers for his team didn't reflect that last season, but that shouldn't diminish what he does on the floor. We've seen teams will move the ball away from him because they just know if the ball is within any vicinity, he can go over and affect that shot. And I think that's a very important factor. The biggest question mark going against him, will the New Orleans Pelicans win enough games?
That's
enough
right.
games.
That's why you might be a year or two away.
that's
I think everyone would agree here and watching that Anthony Davis at some point, knock on wood, the guy doesn't get injured, he's going to win 1, 2, 3 MVPs. But will his team be good enough this season to really have a legit case?
Especially in the Western Conference against your two candidates right now, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, because we know that those two teams are likely going to be in the top 4. I think the Pelicans will make the playoffs. I don't think they'll be in the top 4, but still, I think his impact on the game at both ends is going to be greater than anybody else's in the league this season.
Oh, for sure. I love that we all have different picks because I'm going with James Harden for a possible MVP year. And a big part of it is I do think, I already said this before when I talked about the coach of the year in Kevin McHale, who I'm predicting wins, just because the Rockets get a lot of regular season Ws. I think the same thing can be applied to James Harden possibly taking home MVP this year. Of course, in the race last year, coming runner-up there to Curry. It was back and forth all year.
Players MVP as well.
Yeah. And that's exactly right. Harden was named MVP at the Players Association's first annual Players Awards in Vegas during the summer. The players are saying this is the MVP of the year.
Yeah.
It could lead over. I really do think, because of all of these candidates, it comes down to who has the best record. I think it might come down to that in the end. Sure. Who's got the 60 wins, the 60-plus wins? Is it Curry and the Warriors? Is it possibly the Harden and the Rockets? Durant and the Thunder? Any case could be made for any of these teams.
And it should only be a few games difference as well. I don't think you're going to see a team like the Warriors. I don't think you're going to see a 67-win team again this year. I think you're going to see a lot more teams hovering around that sort of 55 to 60 mark, which is going to make it then a lot closer in that MVP race.
And I think that's what bodes well for Steph Curry, is that he's going to play tighter games, and they're going to have to put him in the fourth quarter. He didn't play fourth quarters because they were kicking butt.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to go out there. He's just going to increase his numbers. I mean, last year, his efficiency was amazing, but he didn't have the high points per game like James Harden because he didn't have to go out there. Sure. But if he's playing in fourth quarters, the numbers go up, the love for Steph goes up. I think he could do it again.
I am a little shocked. I mean, these are all, they all make sense, these picks, but no one going with the 4-time MVP in LeBron James. Now, what's the reasoning on that? Just what we saw last year, and you think LeBron might take 2-3 weeks off at some point this season as well?
Yeah, he likes to get his rest in, and I think that it's kind of just not fun to pick LeBron James to win MVP, right? You want to pick somebody else because you really know that LeBron is still the actual most valuable player in the league. So when somebody chooses somebody else, they're saying, yeah, LeBron is the best, but this guy might win the award.
Yeah.
And that's what it's been actually in last year as well. I mean, he had a fantastic season, even though he had those couple of weeks off because of the sort of rest and the rehabilitation he had there. But when he was on the floor, he was still clearly the best player in the league, but he wasn't the most valuable as determined by the voters, because we saw the Golden State Warriors take that huge leap from being a fringe playoff team into a championship contender, and Steph really stood out for the Warriors.
Isn't voters fatigue why you guys aren't picking Steph Curry as well? I mean, as a back-to-back MVP, it's not as fun to pick. It's more fun to pick Davis and Harden and Durant because they didn't win it last year.
Yeah, I think LeBron is hurt a little bit too, maybe being in the Eastern Conference as well. And I think the games and minutes played, and they should try and shore those up a little bit with LeBron. You want a LeBron as healthy as possible come playoff time. They know that. Everyone knows that. But, it's easier for you to be like, whoa, in that loaded West, you're winning 60 games. That says something a little bit more than maybe winning 60 in the East, where you're just playing lesser competition.
Yeah, we kind of expect the Cavs to steamroll their way to the finals in the Eastern Conference, so it's hard to say the most valuable players coming out of the weaker conference.
Exactly. What about a dark horse candidate? Is it a guy like Westbrook, or maybe even a guy like Paul George, who has been in the running before, a couple of years ago, before the injury? Could Paul George somehow shock the world and the Pacers become the second best team in the East, and suddenly he's got to be in the conversation?
They would have to have a fantastic season, probably win 60 games, and he would have to play the whole season for that to happen. Because that's what did happen basically with Steph last year. They won more games than anyone really expected them to.
Right.
There's no doubt that Paul George plays both ends of the floor. He's pretty acrobatic. He stands out a lot. He can shoot the three-pointer. He gets up there for the high-flying dunks. So you certainly notice him on the floor. But again, it's going to come back to wins and just how much progress the Indiana Pacers make from last year not even making the playoffs.
It's the unexpected guy that can steal it from one of these guys. And maybe somebody comes into the Eastern Conference upper echelon in the first or second seed and gets some votes. Like a John Wall, I think would be a decent one.
So there are our picks for MVP. Curry, Durant, Davis, and Harden. Murderers row. There are 4 guys right there. Let's hear from you guys. Jump on Twitter, #TheStarters. Who do you like to take home the MVP? We got to take a break, but coming up, when we come back, we're talking about must-watch NBA League Pass teams. Have a lot of fun with that. We're watching the starters. Welcome back to the starters, tackling 72 burning questions about the NBA upcoming season. We are at question 50. Nice milestone there. Guys, what is your must-watch League Pass team?
You're wearing green. It's the Boston Celtics. I love the way they share the basketball, especially the bigs. They come out towards the three-point line, sort of like the Golden State Warriors do. They use those bigs out of the three-point line. The Golden State Warriors allowed a big to leave this offseason. David Lee is playing for the Boston Celtics. You're going to see the ball moving a ton in this offense. It's great to watch. They were 4th in assists. They're 5th in pace. They move the ball. And Brad Stevens is great out of timeouts.
Yeah.
A lot of execution there. They're great on the offensive end. Also on the defensive end, they allow guys to go off. I remember last year we talked about this.
Right.
The first couple of months,
Tons of career highs.
a lot of guys had their career highs against the Boston Celtics. So if you're watching a League Pass team, you're flicking around, you see a great offense, and then you see guys scoring on them. But although they did pick up their defense in the second half, it's a good team on both ends.
Offensively, you're right. They do move the ball very, very well there. That's something I've noticed about them last season. It's a Brad Stevens staple, I think.
Yeah, and the other cool thing about the Celtics is that even though their players don't actually shoot threes very well, they still shoot a ton of threes just because getting threes up is fun and it is good to watch, and it's a sound strategy. As we all know, 3 is worth more than 2.
And
It's
hey,
good for their spacing.
Yeah.
for sure.
if you're a fan of the long locks, Kelly Olynyk there, those things are flowing in the wind.
Magical.
Yes.
Will he get minutes? Who knows?
Who do you got for your must-watch League Pass team?
When I'm looking for a League Pass team, I want to see dunks and I want to see passing, and I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are maybe in the upper echelon of both of those sort of scenarios. They are probably the best dunking team in the league. They have the current dunk champion in Zach LaVine and a guy who could easily win it in Andrew Wiggins. Plus Shabazz Muhammad throws it down pretty hard. Nikola Pekovic is hilarious to watch running. And then when we're talking about passing, Ricky Rubio may be the most creative passer in the league. They signed Andre Miller in the offseason, and he is widely recognized as the best alley-oop thrower in NBA history. So I think that combination is just a fun couple of guys to watch passing the ball. Not to mention, a great part about the Minnesota Timberwolves is that they play in the Western Conference, but they're in the Central Time Zone.
Yes.
So you get early starts for all the great Western Conference teams. You're not up until 1:30 in the morning, super exhausted for the next day. You can get your fun basketball in and then get to bed at a sensible hour.
I like that pick, the Wolves. Where are you going, Lee?
I'm going with the Utah Jazz. Now, they don't have that standout superstar that you're tuning in for, but what I love about them, and we saw especially in the second half of the season, is they play good, hard, disciplined defense. And that's what I like to see, because you can always respect a team that goes out there and plays as hard as they do.
Coming from a guy, Lee Ellis, that loves free throws and bounce passes, doesn't surprise me that he just likes
the other
nice
thing
defense.
is, you've got Rudy Gobert. If he's not blocking shots, he's out there catching these wild alley-oops. It looks like he's about 12 feet tall. And the other reason why you want to tune in for this team is their coach, Quinn Snyder. Last year, we had a couple of really good internet moments from him. Just him getting really, really angry. I think we're going to see a little bit more from that.
Wake up!
It's scary.
You want to tune in for the Jazz. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch this year.
Okay, I like the pick as well. I'm going to go with the New Orleans Pelicans as my must-watch League Pass team. Now, I know they're on a couple national games this year, a couple more than they were, but not a ton still. You're still looking at 70 games you could be catching on League Pass. And the sole reason, to have them as your League Pass team is Anthony Davis, to watch him become, as we already said, an eventual MVP winner. It's going to happen. It's to sort of like the same idea of like, I wish I could go back in time and watch Tim Duncan before he became an MVP. So those 3 or 4 years before he was winning it in 02 and 03, just to catch those years, those formative years when you just see him almost from night to night get better and better. And we talked about too throughout the season preview, they should be a better team. Excited to see what Elvin Gentry can do as the new head coach. And you've got some pieces there in Drew. Tyreek Evans can be a fun watch. Ryan Anderson is one of those shooters that can sort of go off for 30 on any given night if he catches fire from 3. I got the Pelicans as a must-watch League Pass team. Let's hear from you guys, though. All right, this is a fun question. Question 51. Build the ideal dunk contest. Who is your must-invite dunker?
Let's talk about the reigning champion to start. It's Zach LaVine. He brought us out of our seats at the Barclays Center. It's been several years since we've been brought out of our seats because this was a special performance. Dunk after dunk after dunk. And the best part is that he's not done. He's got more to show us. He didn't show us his good stuff.
Wow.
He told us
B game?
He told us when he joined us at Summer League, he's got more to show us. And also, there's the potential of him dunking over us at the slam dunk contest.
Huge.
When we go home to Toronto, he told us he probably wasn't telling the truth and probably doesn't want any part of this, but he said he would dunk over all of us. And you're seeing some of his Pro-Am dunks, some of his YouTube stuff that
Guy's unreal.
it's unreal, and I totally entirely believe him when he said he's got more to show us and that he didn't show us his best. He's not done.
I believe you too. What I love about him too is he, at least last year, and you would hope this continues, he likes putting on a show in the dunk contest. You can tell that he's not one of these guys that's like, oh yeah, I've got to go do it because I'm just a great dunker. He wants to go and put on a show. That's what I love about it. You saw him after. We got a chance to see him after when he had the trophy and he's walking around. He was glowing. He was loving. He was just loving the moment. So I love that. He should be back. That should be a guarantee. What about you, Lee? Must invite dunker.
I'm going with his teammate Andrew Wiggins. Trey sort of alluded to it already as his must-watch League Pass team because these two guys can both throw down crazy dunks, but we've only seen Andrew Wiggins dunk in a game so far, and he might be one of those guys who is actually just a better in-game dunker than in the dunk contest, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to get him in the dunk contest.
In Toronto.
In Toronto, he's got the home crowd advantage there. I think he is going to be a fantastic dunker, and I would just love to see it. I think it's going to be great.
The only problem with trying to get Andrew Wiggins to go in the dunk contest is he practices with Zach LaVine every day, and I'm sure is seeing some of those dunks that Taz is alluding to that we haven't even seen yet in a dunk contest. He knows how good LaVine is.
But these are competitive guys. You've got to go out there and show that you can't have that label like he's afraid to go in the dunk contest. You've got to go out there and at least give it your best.
Maybe
Hey,
we can
Tracy
have
McGrady was in Vince Carter's dunk
That's
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
That's a good point. All right,
a little Toronto connection.
who are you going with for your must-invite dunker?
I'm going with Charles Barkley's future favorite player, Mario Hezonja!
Okay.
People say he can win the dunk contest and the three-point contest, so he might as well prove it. The guy is crazy athletic.
What is he, Brent Barry?
Maybe he's the new Brent Barry.
Yeah,
It's hard to say. But he's just a super athletic guy. If you've seen him on YouTube, you know he's throwing down on NBA players since he got to Summer League, since he's been in the preseason. He threw an off-the-floor alley-oop to Aaron Gordon. I know it wasn't his dunk, but
Yeah.
if you're bold enough to throw a floor pass in a game, you're probably going to pull out some crazy stuff in the
All right,
contest.
these are amazing picks. You're not leaving me with much here to choose from, so it's a bit of a reach, but I'm going to go with Kenneth Faried from the Denver Nuggets. He was in it, you might remember, a couple years ago. That dunk wasn't that great, but he had a nice one. That was
very nice.
That was a 50. I think you see sometimes they're a little nervous when they get in the first one, and you're a little more comfortable when you get in the second one. I do like the idea of having sort of still like a big guy as well. He's 6'8".
Power.
He's got a great nickname. He's the Manimal. He's got the power. Sort of your Kemp-like dunker, if you want to call him that in the contest. So, well, again, I liked all your picks. Zach LaVine, no-brainer. Wiggins, love it. Hazonia, maybe a big guy.
That's true.
Kenneth Faried there.
Sometimes the guys save it for the second rounds.
Yes.
And they get a little DeMar DeFrozen.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's hear from you guys.
I'd see DeMar again.
You really set that up.
Yeah.
Let's hear your
Set him up
must-invite
to knock him
dunkers
down, you know.
for the dunk contest in Toronto. Can't wait. Hopefully get a chance to watch that live. Yeah, maybe Zach LaVine will jump over us. When we come back, Trey jumps on the hot seat to talk sexy new court designs and Sixth Man of the Year considerations. Come on back. You're watching Starters.
Traveling man, doing all that I can.
Back with the Starters season preview. There he is, Trey Kirby, back on the hot seat for a second time. 5 pressure-packed questions coming his way. Let's crank up the heat here in Studio B. Thank you very much. All right, Trey, question 52 of 72. Which fan base will hate their new signing the most?
Hate their new signing. I'll go with Wesley Johnson with the Clippers just because I think back to the best Bulls team in recent memory, 2010, 2011. They started Keith Bogans for 82 games. They won 62 games, but every game it was like, why are they starting Keith Bogans
Okay.
with Ronnie Brewer and Kyle Korver on the bench? I feel like the Clippers fans are going to say, why are we starting Wesley Johnson with this incredible team we have when Paul Pierce is just sitting right there? I mean, there are reasons behind it. You want to keep him fresh for the playoffs. You want to save his minutes. But I do think that starting the lesser of the two will maybe get on people's nerves eventually.
All right, fair enough answer. Question 53. Which team has the league's best front court?
Best front court probably comes down to the Spurs, adding LaMarcus Aldridge and David West to their already incredible Tim Duncan and Kawhi Leonard, which is really good, or the Cavs, who have LeBron James alongside whoever, but they have LeBron James.
Yeah.
That's really all that matters. Not to say that Kevin Love and Timofey Mozgov aren't good players, they're incredible, but when one team has LeBron and the other doesn't, I think I'm going to side with LeBron most times. He's going to play 4 a little bit, even if he doesn't want to. He's going to be incredible. And if the Cavs can ever work out whatever's going on with Tristan Thompson, that's another great piece to add. He's a great prototypical NBA forward because he can switch out and guard the point guard, and you know he can take over defensive possessions. It's a nice mix of guys they have on the Cavs.
Another name that's deep on the bench as a center, Sasha Khan.
Oh, nice.
What a name. I hope they pull that out.
Question 54. Which team has the sexiest new court design?
I don't know if sexy is the right word for this, but I love that the Philadelphia 76ers are in a bit of a tiff with their sponsor, the Wells Fargo with Wells Fargo. Now they have to display the team name, so on the left you see the Wells Fargo Center in black last season, but now that the Wells Fargo is trying to dissociate themselves from the Sixers are doing the same, so they changed their font to white.
Can't even see it.
Which is exactly the point. You can't see it. I think that's hilarious, but the true sexiest court of the year is in NBA 2K16,
Oh, yeah.
where the starters have taken over the Atlanta Hawks franchise, totally redid the court, threw on our graphics, even locked down a Supreme sponsorship. Things are going great for the starters, 17-3 already.
Oh, I was just going to ask. Wow.
Yeah, we're
17-3. All right. Keep it rolling. All right, question 55. It's a prediction-based question here. Who's going to win Sixth Man of the Year?
My default choice for any Sixth Man of the Year talk would be Jamal Crawford.
Yep.
He's finished top 5, I think, in 5 of the past 6 years. So in lieu of picking Jamal Crawford, I'll go with the new Jamal Crawford, who I think is Isaiah Thomas on the Boston Celtics. He's not going to start. You don't really know if he's a point guard or a shooting guard, but he gets a ton of buckets. He gets a ton of shots. He's got crazy handles, and he shows up in the fourth quarter. He's a pretty clutch player. You know he's going to be able to get a shot, and you know he's going to be able to score. He's a guy that's able to score 20 points coming off the bench, which I think is pretty rare these days.
Yeah, usually
That's
if
a
you
great
can-
one.
Usually can put up a lot of points.
yeah.
You're in the running for Sixth Man of the Year. All right, final question for you, Trey, here on the hot seat. We just learned recently that you lost over 20 pounds this offseason. Now, I don't think you're doing bar
Muscle
3.
watch,
you're
baby.
just hitting the gym.
yeah.
Hashtag muscle watch for sure. But we want to know, what's your biggest food vice still?
What's my biggest food vice still? Whatever's in the house. Literally, I tell my wife, don't buy sweets, because if we have sweets, I'm gonna eat every single thing in the house. This week, she bought me healthy cereal. My main vice, I would say, is sugar cereals. Your
Okay.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Frosted Flakes, whatever. She came home with Cinnamon Crumble, Go Lean. I'm like, yeah, of course I'll eat it, but I would much rather have the sugar. That's one thing I'm not totally ready to get rid of.
Okay, that's fair enough. All right, Trey Kirby, great job on the hot seat. We got to take a break. But when we come back, you, the fans, you let us know who will win this season's MVP hardware. Again, so many big names to pick. Come on back. 72 Burning Questions continues.
Those are better cereals than my wife buys.
We asked you, the Starters fans, over on our Facebook page, who will win MVP? A whole lot of you voted on this one, and surprisingly, a little bit in the end, LeBron James getting 31% of the vote. You see Anthony Davis in second, 25%, followed by Curry and Durant. My pick, Harden, doesn't even make the top 4. A little shocked that the fans at the end go with LeBron.
I think the fans are smarter than we thought.
Yeah,
That's
they
a good
didn't
pick.
overthink it.
No,
I
they
think it's
didn't.
also
Best
just-
player, MVP.
It just shows how tight it's going to be this year. There hasn't been that one super standout that we have had in the past when LeBron basically won those 4 and 5 years. So I think that's great, and I think it's reflective of the league right now.
The biggest thing is, will he play enough games, and will the Cavs be around that 55-60 win mark? That's the only 2 questions with that. All right, so we keep continuing to put the questions and the answers up on the board there. We're getting near the end here, guys. Only 2 preview shows left before we get to opening night. Part 8 tomorrow, we're going to tackle which team takes the biggest step back this season. We'll also get into most improved player of the year. What is up with Otto Porter's mouth? You okay? And hey, faster turnaround, the Knicks or the Lakers? That's a loaded question. So that is tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV. We will see you then.
Thanks for joining us today, folks. And remember, as the great director J.D. once said, your first child is made of glass, the second one is made of rubber.
Brace the night, people.